What if all insects disappeared from Earth? Imagine a world suddenly free of the incessant buzz, the irritating bite, the unsettling scuttle. A world where no fly lands on your food, no mosquito disturbs your sleep, and no ant marches across your kitchen floor. For many, this sounds like a dream, a paradise finally achieved. The thought of a planet without insects often conjures images of pristine, quiet landscapes, devoid of the tiny nuisances that plague our daily lives. No more swatting, no more spraying, no more battling the seemingly endless tide of crawling things. It seems like a liberation. But this initial perception, this fleeting fantasy of peace, is a dangerous illusion. The stark reality is far more terrifying. That silence, initially welcomed, would quickly transform into a deafening harbinger of disaster. The truth, urgent and undeniable, is that insects are not merely components of our world. They are the very foundation upon which planetary survival rests. Their absence would not bring paradise, but an unimaginable catastrophe. For a brief, terrifying moment, humanity might celebrate. Pest control companies would vanish overnight, their services suddenly obsolete. Farmers might initially observe their crops untouched by traditional insect pests, a temporary reprieve. But this celebration would be short-lived, a mere flicker before the darkness descends. The intricate web of life, so delicately balanced, would begin to unravel with terrifying speed. The first victims would be the insect-feeding birds. Swallows, sparrows, warblers. Their songs would fall silent as their primary food source disappears. Frogs, lizards, and countless small mammals, all reliant on insects for sustenance, would soon follow. Their populations would plummet, then vanish. This immediate collapse highlights an undeniable truth. Insects are not just a part of the food chain, they are the foundational link. Without them, the entire structure begins to crumble, leaving behind a world starved and desolate. The next devastating consequence would sweep across the globe with chilling efficiency. Pollination would simply stop. This is not a gradual decline, but an abrupt cessation of one of nature's most vital processes. Over 75% of all flowering plants, the very basis of most terrestrial ecosystems, depend entirely on insects for their reproduction. Bees in particular are the tireless architects of this essential cycle, but countless other insects play their part. Within months, the world's agricultural fields would become barren. Widespread crop failure would become the new, horrifying norm. The fruits, nuts, and vegetables we take for granted would simply cease to exist. Imagine apple trees without apples, coffee plants without beans, sunflowers without seeds. The global food supply, already strained, would crumble under this unprecedented pressure. 1/3 of all human food would disappear within a single year. Billions would face famine, not from war or economic collapse, but from nature's silent failure. Supermarket shelves would stand empty, a stark monument to our lost world. Beyond the visible world of plants and animals, an equally critical disaster would unfold beneath our feet. The soil, the very skin of our planet, would cease to breathe. Insects are the unsung heroes of waste recycling. Beetles, ants, termites, and countless other invertebrates tirelessly break down dead organic matter. They convert fallen leaves, decaying wood, and animal carcasses into the rich, fertile soil that sustains all life. They are the planet's essential cleanup crew. Without them, decomposition would slow to a dramatic crawl. Forests would become choked with rotting debris, a suffocating blanket of unreturned nutrients. The vital cycle of life and death, renewal and growth, would grind to a halt. Soil fertility would crash, hindering any remaining plant growth and drastically reducing the planet's ability to produce oxygen. The very ground beneath us would become a sterile, lifeless husk, unable to support the complex web of life it once nurtured. The ripple effect of insect disappearance would extend far beyond the immediate victims, creating a catastrophic domino effect throughout every ecosystem. Animals higher up the food chain, once seemingly distant from the world of insects, would quickly feel the impact. No insects means no frogs, their croaking silence a testament to their demise. No frogs means no snakes, their slithering forms vanishing from the landscape. No snakes means no hawks or eagles, their majestic flights ending in starvation. Entire ecosystems would be wiped out, not by a single cataclysm, but by the slow, agonizing starvation of every creature within them. The intricate balance, honed over millions of years, would shatter into irreparable fragments. Even marine life would suffer. Many aquatic species rely on nutrients washed into rivers and oceans from decaying insects on land. Fish populations already under pressure would dwindle further, their food sources disrupted by the terrestrial collapse. The human impact of this insect apocalypse would be nothing short of catastrophic. Global agriculture, already reeling from pollination failure, would collapse entirely. The disappearance of fruits and vegetables would be just the beginning. Meat and dairy would soon follow. Livestock, from cows to chickens, depend on insect-pollinated plants for their feed. Without these plants, the animals would starve, leading to a complete cessation of animal agriculture. Economies worldwide would crash, plunging billions into poverty and chaos. Food prices would skyrocket to unimaginable levels, making even the most basic sustenance a luxury for the privileged few. Governments would scramble for solutions. Desperate attempts at artificial pollination technology would prove woefully insufficient, unable to replicate the scale and efficiency of nature's tiny workers. Mass starvation would become a global reality, threatening the very existence of human civilization. Our complex societies built on the illusion of control would unravel in the face of nature's silent rebellion. As humanity struggles for survival, the planet itself would undergo a horrifying transformation. The delicate balance that sustains life would utterly break down. Waste would accumulate, uncomposted and unreturned to the soil. Forests would stand as decaying monuments, their vital functions ceased. Oxygen levels in the atmosphere would plummet, while carbon dioxide levels would surge unchecked. The planet's climate, already under stress, would spiral wildly out of control. Even bacteria and fungi, often seen as the ultimate decomposers, would struggle without the initial breakdown provided by insects. The intricate dance of microbial life, so dependent on the larger ecosystem, would falter. Earth would transform into a decaying shell, a barren wasteland where life once thrived. The vibrant tapestry of existence would fade into a distant memory. This would be a slow death, not by fire or war, but by the chilling, absolute silence of a world without its smallest, most vital inhabitants. The scenario is stark, terrifying, and undeniably real. Ecosystem collapse, widespread crop failure, and the very real threat of human extinction are not distant possibilities in a world without insects. They are inevitable consequences. Our survival, our very existence, depends on these often overlooked, frequently maligned creatures. They are not just pests to be eradicated, they are the silent architects of our world, the tireless workers who maintain the delicate balance of life. Insects are the gears that keep Earth alive. Their continued presence is not a luxury, but an absolute necessity. To lose them is to lose everything.